All right.
All
Welcome,
right.
everybody. I'm Mr. Laggy. This is Buns of Bread over here. And we are Streamers in Progress. This is a little show about what it is to be a low-level streamer and what that process is like, and kind of a documentation of what it is for a low-level streamer to eventually hit it big. That's our expectation.
We'll see if that happens.
Yeah,
but
we'll
that's the
see. And
expectation.
you guys get to see it happen or fail.
It happens with us.
Yes,
It's a community thing that we're trying to do here.
absolutely. So it's a kind of learning experience, not only for you guys, but for us as well. So we're going to kind of back and forth for a couple of weeks, going through. Today will be our history, more or less, who we are,
Yep.
why we're doing this, our expectations for our streams. And as we go on, it'll be more as to the nitty gritty of what we've learned, what we have succeeded and failed at, and so on as we go through and as we've gone through the last number of months having done this. So as the episodes go on, we will have hopefully other streamers on to learn from and to give more opinions about this situation. So it's not just the two of us, because we're limited. We don't have it all. So hopefully we'll get everyone on here and it'll be a good time.
If anyone has any suggestions for streamers that you want to see, let us know either on Twitch or Twitter. Below in the panels, below the Twitch stream, if you're watching this on Twitch, is information about our individual channels and then also our Twitter accounts. And also an email to contact us directly. So if you have any feedback or any questions off stream, hit us up on any of those and we will respond as fast as possible.
Absolutely.
All right. So first thing that we kind of wanted to touch on is, well, the main thing today is who we are, why you should care about us at all.
And you should.
And trying to sell ourselves, basically, more or less. So I'm going to start first. Mr. Laggy has a slightly more interesting story than I do.
That's debatable.
He's a gold mine. I'm lucky to have, or for him to have found me on Twitter and reached out all those months ago.
I appreciate that.
So we're going to start with my more normal, I feel like it's kind of the everyday kind of story that I feel like a lot of people are going to relate to. And then Mr. Laggy's is a little bit more unique. So going off that, I have a couple questions I'm just going to kind of answer on myself. So I started streaming because I was already playing a lot of video games on my PC, basically, is what it boiled down to. And I wanted to try to make new friends because I'm not very good at it. I didn't ever go to college, so I don't have like college friends. All my friends that I still keep in touch with are from high school. And then I work for a small company that's literally 4 people, and I'm the youngest by about 20 years, probably. So I needed to try to find some more people to connect with. And I thought it'd be interesting to maybe do it through this. So my actual very first idea on Twitch was a show that I called Tech Talk, and it did not do very well. But it was basically, so my job in real life is IT support. So I kind of took that idea and then put it in Twitch. So I tried to get people to come in and ask me live tech support questions, then I would answer them live. And they would do it over text rather than over voice or anything like that. If they had any sort of social anxiety about going into Best Buy or something like that, it was all anonymous through text rather than speech. And they could hopefully get some good advice for it. I got a few answers and people like that coming in, but it didn't really take off. I think my channel was too small at that point. I didn't have enough of a base to really kind of help me figure out what I needed to do. So, and that's going to happen a lot. You're going to have about 1 million ideas, and there's going to be one that you actually stick with. This is about idea 5,000 for me, probably. So I just started streaming because I was already playing games with my friends, and I was just like, other people might find us funny, so I'll just do that. Which also kind of leads to my secondary point of, I wasn't doing any sort of content creation before. This is my first time doing anything like this. I didn't have a YouTube channel. Yeah, idea 5,000, and there's about 95,000 more. So I didn't have a YouTube channel. I was never really on any social media. The most social media I was on was my personal Facebook, and I would maybe post every 6 months, like if I got when we got a new dog, when we bought our house, stuff like that. When my wife graduated from college, just things that were big events, nothing really crazy. Um, so I was figuring all this out at the same time as I was trying to do streaming. Um, so it was a learning experience all over the place. My actual streaming career has been about probably 9 months, and I do it part time. So I work from 8 to 5, and then I usually stream from like kind of depending on my wife's schedule, probably 2 to 4 hours every night except for Sunday. Saturdays I usually do a bit longer. Um, but so I have a fairly restricted schedule, but I feel like that's pretty relatable to how a lot of people feel. Um, they don't ever feel like they have enough time to do all the things that they want to do and really have the energy or the ideas, or not necessarily ideas, but really the energy um, to put into the channel that they want because they feel like they can always do better, but they don't have the time or energy to do it. So it's kind of rough doing it part time, but it's something that I think is just kind of like, how in like a lot of jobs you have to kind of like pay your dues. I think it's kind of like that. That's how I'm viewing it, at least.
Yeah.
It's kind of you get promoted to being full time, um, kind of like any other service industry job, I guess. I worked at Starbucks part time and I never made it full time, so
For the best.
Yeah, it wasn't the best job. I have some stories about that, though, but I don't want to go off on that tangent.
No.
So kind of looping back around to my other content creation stuff where I wasn't doing anything and how I had briefly touched on learning it all at the same. So when I first started, I did Twitch and Twitter. I decided to kind of limit my focus to limited success because like I said, I didn't really ever use Twitter. I didn't know how it worked. And when I had used it, that was back in like sophomore year of high school. So it's been a decade since I last used it to any degree. So the algorithms has changed, the interface had changed. I started a whole new account, so I didn't even have any of my old personal followers, which they wouldn't have cared about this anyway. So you're always starting from scratch. Like, and I feel like that's something really important to realize is you don't start with anything and you're not really owed anything. So it's kind of not really worth getting upset at first about not having anyone watching you, because why would they without ever hearing about you? Like, you have to kind of sell yourself every stream, which I still struggle to do. I'm not saying that I'm good at it. I just realized that fact. Like, you have to basically, how I've started viewing Twitch is how I view my normal job, which is how do I get repeat customers? How do I renew my contract with that viewer every day? And just trying to figure out what is the best way to do that. And I'm still figuring that out. So I used Twitch and Twitter, trying to figure both out. I started Instagram. I left it dead for about 4 months. I've only recently started doing anything with it. I still don't know a whole lot. I don't even have a panel for it on my Twitch page, because it's so dead. And then I have a Discord channel that there's no one in. I don't like, I don't even have a panel for it because I haven't taken the time to do anything with it, which kind of leads back to the whole, I'm a part-time streamer and I never feel like I have enough time to do all the things that I want to do, that I feel like I should do, but I don't have enough time. And it's kind of the nitpicky things, the tedious things, the busy work that always get left behind. For me at least, because if I have time to do streaming, I'm going to, and this is a really bad habit of mine, and I really need to get better about it. If I have downtime, I go and stream, where I need to take some time if I have downtime and instead help my stream on the back end,
Right.
by doing networking on Twitter, making my Instagram full of things that actually matter, promoting my Discord channel, getting new people to come in and say, hey, on the Discord, actually engaging with other streamers on their personal platforms like Twitter and Instagram and Discord. But I never feel like I have enough time, and then when I do have enough time, I'm instead streaming, which is counterintuitive. Why would anyone watch me if they don't even know about me? So sometimes it feels like you're just kind of running in place / wasting your time, but it's easier to just stream, even though it's not the best thing. Because I feel like a lot of us have started streaming just because we already playing video games. It's not like you're getting into Twitch streaming because you're trying to learn how to play a video game. At least that's my impression.
Yeah, it's the one thing we're good at.
Right. We're all a bunch of socially awkward
Yeah.
people talking into a webcam while playing video games. Like, that's the one thing that we feel like we can do well. Is at least the playing video games part.
Just out of curiosity, what age did you start playing video games?
I started playing. I was probably 9, and I'm 24 now, almost 25. The very first video game that I remember playing was Baldur's Gate 2.
Remaster's coming out.
Yes, I'm very excited. My dad used to play that all the time, and I would watch him like on his lap play it, or sitting next to him. And my sister and I would both watch him, and then eventually we got old enough we played it ourselves. So that was kind of my first experience. I've always kind of been a PC gamer. So with the starting of my channel, you might be wondering, how I came up with the name Buns of Bread. First thing to note is that was not my original name. My Twitch channel started as Pasta Lover 1113, which is impossible to remember. Like, how would anyone remember a Pasta Lover 1113? Which is the main reason I changed it. Because I sat down one time and I was like, so what makes the big streamers big? I was trying to figure it out. Just like basic stuff. I was like, well, they all have, I never see anyone have numbers in their names. And they're all pretty easy to remember, or at least abbreviate. Like at the top of my followed channels list right now is a streamer, an Apex streamer. She has 1.5K viewers right now, Lulu Lovely, but everyone just calls her Lulu. It's easy to remember. It's fast. If you type that in, you'll come up with her. So like, all right, well, let me change my name to more closely identify with my personal identity, meaning I like carbs. I'm not a fit man, so it's a play on Buns of Steel. So let's call it Buns of Bread instead. And then a lot of people on their own have shortened it to Bob in text. So yeah, carbs for life. That's the truth. I married an Italian woman, and that's our diet. It's just carbs. We just got back from Sicily a couple weeks ago, and man, I have never eaten more in my life, and I have never been happier.
The carb
except for my wedding day. But yeah, Eliza knows all about my fascination with food. So yeah, I just picked Buns of Bread instead, and it doesn't have numbers. It's easy to remember. It's funny, which makes it easy to remember, and you can abbreviate it.
Yeah. And you can emote
which is actually the same thing that we did with Streamers in Progress.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a difficult decision to do. Pasta Best. What's going on, Jeff? This is one of my IRL friends, as the kids say. My friend Jeff. He's a great guy.
Welcome, Frosty. Jeff.
So another thing that I had to establish when I was first starting my stream is kind of my schedule, which I'd already briefly talked about, and why I did it. But I feel like that needs some reiterating, is you have to stream in a way that makes sense with your ongoing life. When I first started, I was streaming way too much. My wife was not happy with me. And I wasn't getting any more out of it than I am now by cutting back my hours. If anything, I'm actually getting more out of it. I'm enjoying it more, which is really what makes it more fun for the viewer. I feel like if you're actively engaged, not feeling run down, then you make your content better. So if I'm not streaming 4 hours, 5 hours every night, I have a better relationship at home, and it makes my content better, actually kind of by default. Because it feels kind of more special if you do then have time to go and stream. It's kind of like it's more of a hobby at that point than feeling like a job. but you have to make sure as part of your first supporter is your family, in my opinion. They might not always watch your content or even promote it because like my wife doesn't have a Twitter, but the fact that they're letting you take time out of what used to be time with you to go and do this is the best support that you could ever have.
Yeah.
Because they could have easily, my wife could have easily said, "No, fuck that. You're not, you're not doing this. You're not spending 3 hours doing this every night. What are you talking about?" Because like she'll take care of the dogs when I'm streaming, and like I can just shut my door. It makes it so much easier if that she's supporting me like that. And your base is your real life relationships. They're the people that are going to come and hang out when you need them to. If you like, I promoted the hell out of this show, and Jeff responded to every single promotion. And then here he is. So your first followers and base are your friends and family.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then they're there to help you get your numbers kind of up and establish what's a good brand for you, because they'll let you know if it's a good, yeah, it's GEOFF actually. So, or we can just do, I'm gonna change it to GJ. That's funny. But you know, it's just kind of you have to make sure that it fits with what you're already doing in life and what makes you happy. Slander. Jeff's a great guy. What's going on? Great. This is another one of my. This was the best man at my wedding, Grayson. He's coming in here, helping us out, making sure everything looks good. He's a great guy. Friends and family are your first supporters, and they just will help you along your way. All right, that's enough about me. I took up 20 minutes of our time.
Thank you.
All right, Laggy, on to your more interesting story.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess it depends on the perspective. So it's either more interesting or more sad. I don't know. So where to get started, guys? Where to get started with this? So I took a different route. I ended up, you know, I had gone to school twice in my life, but I never stopped working dead-end jobs. So it didn't matter how much college I had. It was kind of the area doesn't want what I have, and you know, I kind of had to make a decision that I need to do something myself. So for the last, let's see here, I graduated school first time in 2004 and went back to school 7 years ago, or 5 years. Yeah, so I've been out for 2 years since then. And I have 2 degrees, and they're both completely worthless. And so
the harsh reality of life.
It
right?
really is. I did retail for 11 years. And then I was like, you know what? I got to do something else. And my brother was doing collections, and it's next to our local university. I was like, you know what? I wanted to go back to school anyways. So I'll work collections, and I'll see what I can do about sneaking into college so that I can get my physics degree. And I'll save the world through physics. And
everyone's dream, right?
Everyone's dream. Oh, I just kicked my desk. So I proceeded to go into collections for 8 years instead of the 5 it took me to go to school. It is a miserable business. And the last year I actually went to the opposing side, which is debt settlement, which was working from home. So I essentially had my streaming set up right there for me because I'm already working from home on a PC, and I am not terribly susceptible to depression, but working from home in a dead-end job where the money starts off high and keeps going lower and lower. My wife, for the last 6 months, was telling me to quit and just stream. She's like, just try it. You just got to try it. And I started on YouTube. I was like, okay, I just got to figure out how to do this because there's so much to learn. There's there's Twitch, which I did try. There is obviously Twitter, Instagram. There's YouTube, which involves the editing and distribution of your video. So you got to learn audio, you got to learn video, you've got to learn editing. You got to learn how to create your thumbnail. So you got to learn Photoshop or GIMP, the free version. You got to look artistic. You got to figure out how to make it pop. You got to make everything pop somehow. And I use that as my, okay, I'm going to try this while I'm working and try and make as much money as I can to put away a nest egg. Because I've also got a child who's just over a year old. So quitting my job when I newly have a baby and not married for that long, just 2 years now, isn't good. So typically your friends and family are the first ones to support you, but in my case, nobody knows.
Except for your wife who made you do it.
My wife, yeah, my wife knows. My friends know.
I know.
You know. But, I'm 37 now, and it's still that concern of like, how do you tell your parents that you just quit your job to go on the internet and play video games?
Essentially play video games for a living.
Yeah, nobody understands it. People my own age don't understand it. And they're like, how do you do that? And you try and explain it's a business. It's not, because that's the way you got to think of it. You can't, unless you're just on here for fun and you don't care about your numbers or your viewership, you just want to get the occasional person and talk to them. Otherwise, it's a business and it needs to be considered as such. So I took my 9 to 5:30 job and I said goodbye in a manner of ways. And I now spend that 9 to 5:30 doing this. And the point you made where you have to step back from streaming, like I set my schedule Monday, Wednesday, Friday, so that I could leave Tuesday and Thursday open to learning. And I did that for a while. But the rut that you feel from time to time is so real. Right. And I am currently in it. Where
yeah, we were just talking about that before we went live.
Yep. And it happens. And I had some brief success. We'll discuss at another time. And it then completely plateaued and is now going lower. And that's okay. The thing is you've got to remind yourself that that's okay because no one's ever going to succeed right off the bat. If you do succeed right off the bat, you have no longevity at all. You're going to get up there and you're going to fall as soon as anything changes. As soon as the video game you play is no longer popular, you won't know how to go to the next one. You don't know what that is. You don't know how to transition. So it's good having the failure process in there so that you can learn how to adapt to that. And, obviously the two of us are in there. I'm learning the YouTube failing at the same time. I tried to do YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch all at the same time, and my head blew up. So I said, no, I'm just going to Twitch for a while. And now I'm starting to pick up YouTube again. And at some point, I'm going to start doing Twitter more often because it's too much on your plate at one time to learn them all. So start with what's most comfortable. I had started a MySpace back in 2000 and made sure that it was the most obnoxious page anyone would ever go to. Because for some reason, I've always had an adversity. There we go. To social media. Even though I'm a social guy, I've been in the, I worked retail for 11 years in society, and then I kind of got on the back end with collections and stuff, but still I had to talk to people constantly. I don't mind doing it. Right. It's just for some reason, social media has always had a bad taste in my mouth, but it can't anymore. So
I had the same thing. Like, I work my job is literally calling people and discussing what's broken on their computer. That's my 9 to 5 or 8 to 5, I guess. But I never did social media. I just never felt the need to share every aspect of my life with people that I'm not even really all that close friends with. People that I text constantly are the people that are going to know about my life because I'm telling them in one-on-one communication.
Yeah.
But that's what social media is now, is for us as streamers, is connecting with people that aren't our friends.
Yeah, that aren't our friends, and that aren't, when we're not streaming, we can still talk to them and we can still have a relationship with them. And that's weird because a lot of it comes from my own, I don't want to say lack of self-worth, but lack of self-esteem in a way, that I feel, who the hell wants to know about my shit?
Right.
Well, some people do. So you got to,
some people care.
You got to get past that because we're here. People are following us and paying attention to us because they want to know us. So it's a big step to try and get over, is that weird pit in the back of your head that says, no one wants to know about this, but just throw it out there. There's billions of people out there who could potentially see it. So, so with YouTube and a job, I spent now all of my day away from my family and trying to learn how to do it, trying to edit it. I spent all weekends editing and doing it. And if you look at the videos, it's not noticeable at all. Well, I mean, the edits I'm sure are, but the reason for the work isn't. But it's so much to learn at one time that it ended up consuming all of my time for that first month and a half. So I eventually just, once I quit and said, I'm going to do this full time, it freed up a lot of time. And it freed up a lot of time for learning. It's just one of those situations where I don't always know what to do on my Tuesdays and Thursdays, so I just get on and stream. But it's not advancing me in any fashion when I do that.
So, all right, we got a question here from Grayson that I want to answer real quick. So Grayson says, Get Good 12345 says, what do you think the threshold is for transitioning from advertising on personal social media to advertising on channel-specific or business social media? That's a very good question, and I'm still trying to figure that out. But what I've done personally is I almost never, very, very rarely post on my personal Facebook about my streaming. I did today to try to get, because I know that I actually have a few friends on Facebook that are other Twitch streamers. And I just wanted to try to get them to show up or at least promote it in some way. And at least let them know that I was there. But almost all of my social media is set up under my Twitch email address of bunsofbread@gmail.com. So my Instagram account is actually set up as an Instagram business account, so I can do ads on it. Twitter, I've made a few ad promotions on, and they've gotten some mixed success, and I actually need to contact Twitter support about one of them. And you get a lot of empty engagement from ads if you don't have a good base already and good targeting. So I think it's kind of a good time to transition would probably be when you're in Twitch speak, probably when you're actually about to make partnered or already partnered, which means you have an average viewers of 75 every stream. Over 30 days, you have an average viewers of 75 people. Because at that point, you probably have, if I were to guess, at least 75, maybe double that followers on your social media. Because it seems to be pretty common to have way more followers on social media than you do on Twitch. Which is not the case for me, but I've noticed that for some other people. So you'd hit more people than with advertising on a business platform account, basically. Is at least what I think. Do you have any other inputs on that, Laggy?
I haven't experienced any of it at all so far. So this is very new to me. I would say stick with us for a little while. Hopefully we'll find out.
We'll find out.
There's going to be a lot of that.
Yeah. We're going to try a lot of things that we probably shouldn't as early on in our Twitch careers that we are. But honestly, it's just to kind of share it with you guys.
Right. So
like I did an ad promotion for this show on Twitch, and it didn't do anything, but I got 11,000 people to view my Twitch or my Twitter ad. I got literally 0 out of it. I didn't get a follower on Twitch or Twitter, but 11,000 people, or accounts, not necessarily people, but accounts on Twitter saw the post. So it's kind of a weird thing,
and it's going to be interesting to experiment with that too.
Right.
I didn't even consider that as an option until Bun's here. So I was like, oh, we could dump money into ads. That would be interesting. Try different things to see what works, and kind of keep a record of what we've done,
Right.
and how many hits we've gotten on different targeted audiences and such. So that I think that'll be interesting.
Yeah, I want to track a whole bunch of the stuff that we try, so that I can share it then with our community and let people see the actual data-driven results of what happens if you try these different things.
And put with that the dollar amount spent on it. So this is your money, and this is what you get for your money.
Yep. So if you target these audiences with this kind of thing.
Right.
Basically trying to take all the unknowns out of all the goals, more or less. So, but yeah, okay. Back to you, Laggy, about your history.
I forgot where I left off, but essentially, I'm
YouTube.
unemployed.
You were talking about YouTube and editing and stuff.
Yes. So all that, that's all. That goes into the category of diversification of yourself. If you just drop into Twitch, I watched 1 million videos that said you're not going to be seen. Not 1 million. There's like a couple. Most of the videos were like, oh, you just have to hit it hard, just 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, and that's BS. It really is like you have to find an audience elsewhere, because Twitch isn't going to find it for you. They don't have a system set up yet to help you and I. So you have to go out to these other platforms with hashtags and such that are more searchable, and learn how to make content that is reasonable for that. Because I tried to make a Twitter video of my first kill in World of Warcraft, and once I put it together, it took 1.5 days for 45 seconds, and posted it. Not one person viewed it. Nobody saw it for the first couple of days. Then like 2-3 people, and then I was like, what's going on? I clicked on it. I clicked on it. It's a complete ball of fuzz. So, of course, nobody saw it, because they literally couldn't see the damn thing.
Right.
So everything I had learned from my YouTube experience did not apply to Twitter at all. And I have to complete ball of fuzz. Exact. So there's so many ways that you can, there's so many different avenues for learning in this field that you have to do. It's not, there's no room for being lazy. As soon as you get lazy, you're done. You have to keep at it. And I've been getting lazy, and I'm experiencing that drop in my viewership. And, you have to tell yourself, is this me? Have I changed anything? And I have. I've gotten lazy. So, got to stop that. But as far as my history with video games, I've kind of been on almost everything. My dad had Pong, and the left stick was really shaky, so that one was going like this, and this one was perfectly solid. So whoever got the left one lost.
It was the hard mode. It was the original hard mode.
It was. It's a nightmare. So we had that. We had a system from Texas Instrument, which was one big ass keyboard. We had jammed a cartridge into it. That was before the NES. Then we got the NES. I bought a Super NES with some basic work I did when it came out. 64, PlayStation. Kind of kept getting them as they went out. So I've been at video games for a while, and PC I started in 2000, which was when I got my Mr. Laggy tag, was when I went to school the first time. We were playing Counter-Strike on our local server, and my computer sucked and laggy. And everyone else's was great. But they all had these gamer tags that were Mr. something, like Mr. Sniper, Mr. Kills, that kind of crap.
Mr. Hot Snipe.
Yeah, I'm awesome. Mr. Headshot. So I was like, all right, I once again, everything I do is kind of to be antagonistic to other people on the internet. I had to make a Mr. and then I was laggy. And when you died by Mr. Laggy with a pistol, there was shame in that. I made sure they knew.
Dishonor.
It really was. And I got good with that pistol, though, with the lag. So, and we all got to kind of know each other, and it created, that server, that whole school. We learned who each other were, and we knew where each other lived, literally. We've had to go visit people. It got hostile at times over Counter-Strike. So nothing ever came to blows. Luckily, we're all very, very nerdy. But yeah. So now I'm doing this. I mainly started it because I've always wanted a business of my own. I'm sick of working for the man, and always had ideas of what to do and wanted to entertain. So I was like, this is kind of fits that wheelhouse. I know how to do video games. It's a thing I can do, at least. I'd like to do other things in the future. D&D. I'd like to do Science Saturday, where it's just physics questions and answers and stuff, and different things. I don't want to just lock into video games my whole life, but I want them to be there as they are in my existence. But I would like to broaden those horizons out as hopefully I get viewership, as we'll all find out.
Yeah, and I'd love to get back into the Tech Talk thing.
Thanks so much for the follow, Frosty.
Hey, thanks, Jeff. I appreciate it. So I think it's kind of leading to that point. I think it's kind of a good idea to try, and I don't know if this will work or not, but something to try is to have multiple avenues of shows. Kind of like what we're doing here. The sea is silent. Where you can try to Jeffs try to reach a bunch of different audiences by doing different things. Especially for people like us, where I've basically, in my mind, there's two kinds of streamers, which I know there isn't really, but I generalize. There's personality streamers, and then there's competitive streamers. So people that play one game and one game really, really well, and that's why people watch them, are competitive streamers, in my opinion. And the second one is what Laggy and I fall into, which is... Sorry, I was checking my phone. I keep on getting emails from work. But I think we fall into the more personality streamer thing, where people follow us not because of the video games that we're playing, but because of the actual people that we are.
Right.
Which kind of, I guess, makes Twitch for us a social media of its own. Never really thought of it that way, but I guess that's kind of true.
Yeah, it is.
So we're basically making a small business on a social media platform.
Right. I mean, you got to make your profile. You got to get your picture.
Yeah.
You got to get your banner. Yep. You got to put all the stuff below. And then we're just the music.
Yep, so, more or less.
It's
a weird thing.
It is. But if done right, I mean, okay. So I'm 37. I grew up when there was an internet and ways to contact people outside of a phone. Corded phone, whatever.
You got to ring them up. Got to dial those digits.
We had a rotary in the house. It was in the attic, but we had one.
It was in the attic. Damn.
It got shoved away. I just can say that we had one.
If you want to make a damn phone call.
So it's just amazing, and this is one of the many reasons that I haven't explained to my parental units. Why I am doing this now is because this as a form of entertainment is foreign to the vast majority of people.
Yes.
This is silly and weird, but that's kind of the state I've existed in my whole life. There's a reason why there's the background that this is, and if anyone gets it, they get a free follow, because I can't give a free sub. But
get us there and you'll get a free sub.
Yeah, get us there, I'll give you a free sub. But my existence has always been outside of the norm at all times, and here I am again, just kind of realizing that on stream, that once again they don't get who I am, and that's okay. They just don't need to necessarily know about it right away until there's an income I can prove. But
so what happens if I guess the background?
Guess
do you give me a sub?
Could, or I'll increase the size of your image over there.
I don't think I'm gonna get it right. But
It's
is
a
it
toughie.
Dark Crystal?
Nope.
All right. Thought maybe it'd come back to your memory with the new Netflix.
Oh, gotcha.
one.
No, it's anime.
It's anime.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hmm?
Oh. Princess Mononoke.
Oh, that's so close.
Oh, damn it.
It is parallel, so parallel, you have no idea. But think about those.
Eliza gets it. Jeff probably knows.
Yeah, about 14 years earlier. Same guy.
14 years earlier.
Same studio.
Is it Nausicaa?
Yes, it is.
All right,
there it is.
Nailed it.
All right,
Woo!
all right. Here we go, guys. All right. He is now larger than I am.
Watch all those movies when we were kids. Yeah, see most of the screen now. Oh damn! I gotta thank my dad now.
He's wow. That's awesome. But that's how I spent my childhood. Nobody knew what anime was or manga. I had to import everything from Japan on this system called eBay. From this weird thing called the internet that was on dial-up.
On the dial-ups.
So, and that's how I spent my days. Like,
oh
God, there's something there, and I missed it. There's still a poster I missed in 1998 that I'll never see again, and I look for it once a year. I missed my chance. So, the regrets we have in our life.
Yeah,
missed that poster. But so yeah.
If that's your biggest regret in life, though, I think you're doing all right.
Oh no, it's definitely not. There's a reason why I didn't post this on my personal Facebook. There's a couple of regrets.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, you're too funny, Laggy.
I try.
Oh damn.
So
all right,
that kind of, I guess, yeah, that's enough backstory. We'll kind of hit more if I missed anything, but that does lead us, let's say, up to today and where we're at.
Yeah. Well, here's a win for you, Laggy. Can you guess what the inside of my arm is? You should be able to because it's pretty easy.
Yes, I can. Oh man, it really is, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, that's nice.
Yep.
Okay, I'm working on the name. It's Cal.
Yep.
Rhymes
with sulfur.
I want to say calcifer.
Yes,
it
correct.
Is? Okay.
Yep. I'll send you an up close picture because the detail on it is nuts.
That's awesome. Because it's like if I had an option of a tattoo, it's either Nausicaa or it's John Lennon something, and people are sick of me talking about the Beatles, so I said Nausicaa. So.
Oh damn. Yeah. Well, there's a reason that we work so well together.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so kind of going back to what you were saying, where we're at today, kind of leading into the rest of our shows for the upcoming future is exploring basically a timeline of our channel's growth up until now. So I've done a number of things on my channel that I don't necessarily regret, but I wish I had not done. And it's like nothing illegal, like view botting or shit like that, or against terms of service, but
nudity.
Things that were just not worth my time. And then things that I'm really happy I did. And that's kind of what this whole thing is about, is sharing those experiences with. Actually, I've kind of intentionally, and I think Laggy's done the same. We've kind of intentionally not shared these stories with each other um, all that much to give an initial impression to both of us. Still,
I can agree, except for the fact that mine's mainly because I've forgotten them. Old age. But they're back there somewhere, so I'll get them. But yeah, no. Yeah. It does leave it better for back and forth if we don't discuss everything beforehand.
Yep. So kind of talking about what we've done on our channels that we liked, that we didn't like, that we wish we had done more of, and kind of regret that we aren't doing it as much now or something like that. And then encouraging other small streamers to come in and talk about their similar experiences. We really are going to try really, really, really hard for this not to be just Laggy and I talking to each other.
No.
I want other small streamers to come in and talk about what they're doing.
Right. And so there's a level for growth here for everybody. And that's also one of the main goals, is growth, uniform growth. So the people we have in don't necessarily have to have 30 views. They could have 1 view. They could have 100. But we want them to we want to give them something that will benefit them just by being here. And we especially want that for the viewership as well. So that's going to kind of be rule number 1, is what is the lesson to be learned. And my impression is to kind of have a goal set forth for ourselves that we present to you on the next episode of success or failure, and what that,
you know how like cartoons always have like a moral of the story. Like Saturday morning cartoons always have that. We're basically going to have to come up with a moral of the story for every stream. That's basically what we're doing.
I think the theme will be, oh boy, maybe I shouldn't. I maybe should censor myself sometimes. Sodomy. No. Okay. No. All right. We'll cut. So, but yes, how that's going to work, we don't know, but
but yeah, it's going to be an interesting development. You're going to see the format of the show change every once in a while as we talk with viewers and figure out what they want out of the show. Because like, again, this is about back and forth. But it's also important for people to realize this is not a follow for follow situation. Just because you follow us on Twitch, there's a good chance we'll follow you back, but we'll do it not for a follow for follow situation, kind of Ponzi scheme, pyramid scheme, whatever the hell you want to call it, icky feeling, but because we actually like you as a person.
Right.
So if you just randomly come in, if people just randomly come in, follow all 3 of our channels, and then don't ever chat or anything, you're probably not going to get anything out of this. Like, I'm not going to go and follow you back. That's not what I'm doing.
Yeah, for follows at least. Hopefully for morals.
Yes.
And lessons
the
learned.
whole thing about this is morals and just helping, basically giving people a place to come and bounce ideas off of each other.
Yeah.
And we're working on making some offline platforms for that as well. I'm hoping by the next show I have a Discord channel up and running, or Discord server up and running, for specifically this, that we'll have a panel for, and people can go and ask questions offline, do some self-promotion, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And get some more constant interaction happening is the idea. I at least want the Discord thing to work, because that'd be cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of the direction of the show, at least in what I'm envisioning. What, do you have anything to add, Laggy?
No, I think that kind of encompasses it. Just
okay.
Building it will be a community of streamers, but hopefully it is a very positive community.
Yeah, I'm not going to take any bullshit. If someone comes in and starts bad mouthing other streamers, I am banning the hell out of you.
Absolutely. So we're here to support one another and make sure we all succeed, because there's a way for everyone to succeed in this industry, because because there's so many people watching it, and we all have such different personalities. And I think it's a good point to bring up that what you were saying with the follows for follows kind of thing. I'd be happy to follow somebody who's helpful and interactive, and
Right.
it's not to say that anyone who's not doing that is not a good viewer. It's just that's not what we're here for. We're not here to get somebody else on here so that we get their 5 to 10 viewers,
Right.
or whatever.
This is not about cannibalizing people's viewership.
Yeah, it's not an advertisement for anybody, even though we'll probably give them time to plug.
Yes.
But it's a learning experience, and that's vital. And it's a place where you're not alone, because we're all going through this with you. So if you have someone else there, because this is such an isolated industry where the only thing that you read or listen to is something pre-recorded on YouTube about how to do something, or you go on to like Twitter and not get a response from someone you're asking a question to. We don't want that. We want the responses to be there. We want the activity to be there, so that if you have a concern, it's voiced. It might not be the right answer, because we're learning too. But at the very least, if it doesn't work, we can help you try and figure out what the next step would be.
Yep, new things to try. At least bounce some ideas off each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't come up with this idea on my own. I reached out to Laggy and was like, "Hey, I have this fleshed out idea. What do you think?" And then he gave me feedback, and that's kind of how this whole thing came about.
It's kind of birthed from us.
And I don't even live anywhere close to Laggy. He found me on Twitter months ago, and we've just stayed in contact. Like, we live on different sides of the country, so it's not like it's impossible to find friends and people to hang out with every stream.
Absolutely. And that brings up a good point, because you were mentioning you hadn't gone to college and you didn't have those college buddies, and you have mainly your high school friends, and I've got I went to college twice, and I've got no college friends. I've got one. Right. His name is Casto, and he's in here almost every day except for right now. And I think he's your age. And I've talked to 2 people from high school. So it's, as you get older, especially, and people just move around the country and stop talking, this is important. Having a venue for communicating with like-minded people is important.
Yep, I would agree. But that's pretty much it for today. This was kind of just a get to know us and figure out who we are kind of thing. So if you don't already, look below to follow our Twitch channels and our Twitter channels or accounts. If you have any questions, like I said, ask us on there. If it's after hours. What's my favorite type of pretzel? I like cinnamon sugar pretzels.
Mine is the pretzel that's wrapped around that pizza flavor in combos.
Unfollowing just to follow. The one that around the pizza combo?
Yes.
Like the hard pretzels?
Yeah, the pretzel combo.
Yeah.
The pizza combo pretzel style, whatever the hell that is.
I prefer soft pretzels over hard,
good.
Personally.
That's been a while. But
like
also...
Every time I go to the mall... No, you're fine. Every time I go to the mall and I walk past one like those Anthi-M's or whatever the hell they're called... Man. It's always hard to not pay like $17 for a pretzel.
I know. And then be pretty much disappointed because it's been out all day.
Right. It just smells. I'm convinced they just have like this perfume or like Febreze scent that they just spray around the booth. It's not actually the food.
No. It can't be. It's so old.
Yeah.
Can't smell anymore. I lost it.
Oh, damn. And you can smell it halfway across the damn mall. Like, I swear they just have like, there's secret shoppers. They have those, but are just like filled with
odor.
With the Febreze, and they're just walking down the halls spraying this shit everywhere. That's what they're doing, I swear.
But I wanted to bring up as well, we're going to be posting these to YouTube as soon as I make a YouTube channel, which will probably be tomorrow. And also, we're not going to be back for 2 weeks.
Yes, I'm going on vacation again. Don't get mad at me.
So we'd like to do it we're thinking on a weekly basis, right? Or are we thinking bi-weekly?
Yes, I'm thinking on a weekly basis.
Okay. So thinking on a weekly basis, hopefully Monday nights like this. And but that'll be after the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, so I will get back, or tentatively, assuming nothing stupid happens, tentatively our next show will be, I think I get back on the 21st, so the next one will be the 28th, I believe.
Okay. That'll be more of the what have we experienced so far?
And if everything goes right, that'll be a special Halloween episode.
Ooh, yes.
Like I have this I don't know if you guys can see it, but I have this turkey hat behind me. That it might involve this turkey hat.
Let me see if I can manipulate the window.
Here, I'll just bring it up.
That's easier.
I got a turkey hat.
Yeah. Okay.
I was Thanksgiving last year with my extended family. It was right after one of my cousins got in a pretty bad car accident. It was like a week after she got back from the hospital. So I wore this to cheer everyone up when I walked in. Because she was still like in a back brace and everything like that. So it was kind of a bummer at first. Then I walk in with this stupid fucking hat. It is way too small, by the way. Like I'm pretty sure my brain gets squeezed when I put it on. And it livened up the mood a little bit, which was
good.
nice.
That's the goal.
And then for Christmas, while we're on the topic of hats, for Christmas I got my grandma gave this to me last year.
Oh, nice. Those don't light up, do they?
Oh yeah, they do.
Oh, nice. Oh, that could be obnoxious. You know, if you could link those to like subs, that would be awesome.
That would be legit. Maybe I need to build. I actually might have to work on with Jeff on that. I'm building an Arduino that does that. It is aggressive. It's very aggressive.
That's in your face. Aggressiveness.
It's very, very bright. Jeff. My name is Jeff. Like from 22 Jump Street. Did you see that movie?
22 is the sequel, right?
Correct.
I did not. I saw 21.
There's a line where Channing Tatum just goes, "My name is Jeff," and it's pretty fucking funny.
Was it as good as the first? I think I liked the first one.
It was a little bit more cringy in some parts, but it was better. No, like not better, but like I still enjoyed it. I think the first one was still better. But all right, well, we're at an hour, so I'm gonna call it there. And yeah, we'll see you guys on the 28th tentatively. Stay tuned on social media for any other updates and pictures of things. So appreciate it, Liza. Thanks for chatting with us and hanging out.
Thank you very much.
Make sure everything goes well. Thank you,
guys,
Jeff,
for showing
the
up.
Follow and the chat, and also Grayson, even though I think he's gone by now. Where do you want to send us, Laggy?
That's a good question. And anyone that might be viewing this on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. There'll be more to come. So much more.
Yes.
You won't know what the hell to do with it. Let's see.